So we're already halfway through 2025, and there's a lot that has been going on in relation to this year. We've seen some exciting releases that has taken place already. We have more releases coming out pretty soon. We have the Switch 2, which is supposed to be appearing in retail in about like 2 or 3 days, and a lot of people, including myself, can't wait for the console along with the games that's supposed to be scheduled to be released on, I believe, the 5th to come out. But, it's a little bit too soon to tell how well those games will do in terms of sales. But speaking of sales, I want to talk about 2024 briefly in terms of like what the best selling video game was. If you do some research and you ask certain people, they'll tell you that the best-selling game was Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And that kind of came as a surprise to me, despite it being a fairly good game. The reason I say that is because I remember prior to its release, a lot of people were pissed at Activision for some of their actions prior to the release of the video game. Because I believe before Black Ops 6 was released towards I want to say it happened like in late 2024, like around in I don't remember the exact month, but sometime late in 2024, we got Black Ops 6. And one of the reasons why there was a lot of heat on Activision was mainly because I believe they had sent a cease and desist order for the Call of Duty for Modern Warfare, I guess, remake. And that was something that a lot of people were really excited to see. And I believe that got canceled back in August, if I'm not mistaken, of last year. And it made people furious to a point where I thought they were going to boycott Black Ops 6. And apparently that was not the case, and a lot of people actually enjoyed it. And I don't think we got an official sales number for the game, but it was reported back in March of this year that the game had like at least 20 million active users worldwide. And that's actually pretty good considering the fact that, the last game they had before that was something that people just they hated on to no end. In fact, it was one of the lowest. Um, it was like the lowest scored like Call of Duty games of all time. It's probably the worst Call of Duty game of all time. I'm talking about the game from 2023, and you look at Call of Duty Black Ops 6, aside from having a very exciting campaign mode, you had a variety of different multiplayer game modes. You had Dominion, you had Search and Destroy, you had Team Deathmatch, Free for All, Hardpoint, Face Off, Gunfight. You had so many different gameplay options in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to a point where a lot of people feel like it's the best installment that Activision has produced in years. And a lot of people are wondering whether or not we're going to get a new Call of Duty game this year. And the thing is, I haven't really heard much about it happening, but knowing Activision and their need to try and produce a new entry each year, it's most likely something that's probably going to happen. It's just that they're trying to keep it under wraps so that no one will know and that there will be no leaks because video game leaks is something that has been a huge issue within the gaming world within the past couple of years. And I don't know, it's like no one knows exactly what it is. We have no idea if it's going to be Black Ops 7 or whether or not it's going to be a sequel to Black Ops 2, because I believe that's what people are saying in the gaming community, that was going to be one of the two. A sequel to Black Ops 2 is something that a lot of people would love to see because a lot of people remember the Call of Duty series back in the 2000s and early teens. And a lot of people go on record and tell you that the first two Black Ops games were among the best installments in the entire franchise, especially the first one from 2010. The second one, I believe, came in 2012. So if we do get a sequel to Black Ops 2 from 2012, that would be very exciting as well. Um, Honestly, I feel like Activision, if they really want to, make amends for the cease and desist that they had put on the I guess the remake project that was going on last year, they can definitely do so by giving us the Call of Duty 4 remake that a lot of people have been wanting to see for quite some time. And I honestly feel like Activision has to do everything they can to try and keep their fans happy because I honestly felt like when they had shut down that H2 multiplayer mod project, that was going to be the beginning of the end for Activision, and I feel like with Black Ops 6, the amount of success that it's had, I feel like it's a step in the right direction, and I do feel that Activision can definitely make things better with their fan base, and they can make things better with like the hardcore fans of Call of Duty. But trying to put out like a new installment or a new entry each year to try and top the game that they put out the previous year, it's tough. And a lot of people have gone on record and said that oversaturation is kind of a issue with the Call of Duty franchise altogether, which is actually true. But a lot of their games have been really, really good, and they have sold a lot. And I still feel like Call of Duty is still one of the biggest franchises out there in relation to first-person shooter games. But as far as 2025 is concerned, we have no idea if Activision is actually going to do a game this year, or if they're going to skip a year and hold off until 2026. If they held off into 2026, that would actually be pretty good for them because there's not too many high profile games that we're supposed to be getting next year other than GTA 6. 2025, for the most part, there's a lot of big video games coming out this year. And I feel like it's something that can definitely overshadow um, anything that Activision would put out in relation to the Call of Duty series. It seemed like 2025 is it's mainly going to be a Nintendo year where they have the Switch 2, and then they got the big games coming out like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, I feel like we're probably going to get like a Nintendo game as one of the best video games of 2025. You also have like Doom Dark Ages, which is a third party game that a lot of people um, have nothing but good things to say about. So it seems like 2025 is a little bit more competitive in comparison to that of 2024 in relation to high profile video game releases. And even though like the exact sales number for Black Ops 6 hasn't been revealed, or at least it seemed like that's been the case, we do know that the player count for the game is high, and it tells me that it's sold more than games like Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero and Tekken 8, because I think Tekken 8 in terms of sales did over like 3 mil, and DBZ Sparking Zero did over 5 mil. And it seems like anywhere between 3 to 5 mil is like the average that video games do in terms of overall sales. And it really makes me wonder what the exact sales number for Black Ops 6 is. I don't think it's something that has been flat out revealed. I don't know if it's something that Activision plans on just flat out revealing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was definitely one of the most popular games of 2024. And honestly, it's funny because a lot of people say that 2024 was kind of lackluster and it was bland, and I don't know, like it wasn't nearly as good as 2023, which a lot of people are going on record and saying it's overrated, which is true to some extent. But yeah, I do feel like if Black Ops 6 was released a year earlier, it definitely would have gotten overshadowed. If it got released this year, um, it probably would have gotten overshadowed a little bit less than it would have if it got released in 2023. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like the Call of Duty series is slowly recovering from I guess that bad game that came out back in 2023, the Modern Warfare 3 game. And hopefully Activision, stays on this track in terms of putting out good games. They stay on this path, and I guess they follow up, this game with like good stories and good games that have strong multiplayer gameplay that can keep players emotionally invested in it for a long period of time.